Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to carry on with this colouring page in Fairy Touch of Magic by Klara Markova, and I'm really enjoying this paper. This book is lovely, so I'm just going to carry on working from the top down, doing the same things as I did last week. Nothing new or different, just some pencil work and a few cut out flowers to stick on. I hope that you are all well and you've had a very good start to your week. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start working with the strawberries there. And I think I might, to just deepen it, I might actually bring some chocolate coloring there. Or not. To me, strawberries are always dipped in chocolate, so it's a bit weird to have them kind of like more honeyed. Like, not so sure about that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab a pink pencil. I'm going to zoom you into this section and we'll finish that and then move across. So 1 sec. Hi Noelle, how are you? I trust that you are well. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Just had a busy day, so it's quite full on, but a good day nonetheless. Oh, thank you, my boy. As you can see inside here, I've cut out a few more of the same little flowers beforehand. Hey Shani, how are you? Alright, this is Carmine Red. Hi Mona, how are you? Yeah, the kiddos are all good, thank you. No complaints. Good night. Good night. Hi Angela, how are you? Yeah, we're all good, thank you. No complaints. Just moving one foot in front of the other. Okay, so I've got an itty bitty little crimson lake. I mean, it's so small, but we're gonna just put some up here. Actually, I should have used a bit of color theory to darken up my shadow areas. Oh well, never mind. It's been a while since I colored strawberries, so I feel like I've forgotten how to really make it look nice and delicious. In the Helen Elliston Specialist Colorist Effects, you can actually learn a really cool combo and technique for coloring strawberries. Hi Carly, how are you? Okay, so now I'm going to use a sepia and just sort of bring in some shadowed areas here. Yes, all good, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go back to my, actually I want Scarlet Lake, if I can find it. Ah, here we go. So a bit of Scarlet Lake. So whatever red we have up here, I need to make sure somewhere else has a bit of red, and just kind of balance the page. Even if I do her dress, maybe red with little white daisies. Okay, so I'm going to grab a purpley color. So let's try a black grape. And I just want to create accents around like the seedy, highlighty areas. So I spent most of the day reading out loud, and my voice is sort of done. So I'm not overly talkative today because I feel like I've actually read and spoken out all the words that I could possibly speak and utter throughout the entire day. Okay, so I'm going to take a white pencil and see if I can just kind of blend this out a bit, and then I'll go over everything again with a red pencil and just brighten it up. Okay, let's brighten this up a bit. Okay, so there is kind of half of our strawberries. I'm gonna do the green now, so I'm gonna take a red pencil because our color theory is that red in the shadows will actually create a darker green. And then we'll take a very bright green. Okay, I think I'm going to come back to the chocolate at another stage, but what we can do is probably glue some of this. So I need a blue one actually, and a glue stick. And there we go. I'm going to leave this flower here because I haven't done the glaze and I'm not really sure whether to do it black or not. But what we could probably do is bring the flowers here and make them like a pinky white, and that could look quite pretty. So and then a white pencil, and I'll just kind of blend this out. Okay, so I'm going to do these daisies. Yeah, I find Klara Markova's pages are often really detailed, so it can get quite tricky to know how to balance all your colors. We make him a little brown, kind of like a bee, so what is it? Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, and then if I get stuck on this page, what I'll do is I'll put it aside and I will maybe do some drawing. I've got a crushed beer bottle on my desk. I cooked a beef stew for supper and I poured a gluten-free beer into it. And then I tried to break the bottle, which was a lot harder than I expected it to be. I threw it on the ground in a packet and that did not break. I hit it with a hammer, it did not break. Eventually I really hit it with a hammer outside in a plastic bag, so it kept itself contained, and then it broke. So I'm planning on possibly gluing the glass onto a piece of paper and then doing a drawing from there. So I want to draw an orchid coming out of a beer bottle. So if I get bored with this, we can always do that. Make it a bit different and hopefully a little bit interesting. Oh, you can never get yours to grow. They do need to be in the right lighting. Ours is currently on a kitchen windowsill and we do give it a fair amount of water. Between hubby and I, we keep it going, and I've managed to kind of keep it flowering the longest out of all the orchids I've tried to keep. So for some reason this one's doing actually really well. The other thing I can show you that I've been playing around with is using a string and ink to do some drawings with. And the whole point is not to create realistic drawings, but to actually work on freeing and loosening up. And it can be really helpful even with coloring, because if we loosen up in coloring, it will show up in the way we color, sometimes the way we feel about coloring. Sometimes this sort of coloring, as great as it is, we can get really tight because we're doing everything in our wrists or our fingers, and it becomes too localized and stiff. So if we feel like our coloring is getting a bit stiff, doing like sketches or playing around with different styles to free up your hand, just relax you again, can really go a long way in improving your overall coloring, because you're getting more relaxed. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just do a little bit more here and I'll show you how I do those, because they're quite fun. It helps if you have something that you like, and it really is, I promise you, it's not going to look realistic at all. It's not meant to. One of the things I'm really taking away is how sometimes not caring about art can actually go a long way to making and just releasing like creativity again, because you're not so worried about how it looks and whether you got it right. You're more focused on enjoying the process. You have a brown thumb. No. The orchids are known to be quite fussy. And if you overwater them, they can also get root rot, which can, they will die. You don't need a lot of water when you water them, just a little bit, and maybe a little bit once or twice a week. It depends entirely on how humid it is. They like humidity. Our kitchen, because of the way I cook, especially in winter, you get a lot more humidity, and I think it really likes that. But if it's too much direct sun, they will moan. They don't like a lot of sun. They like to be in light, but not direct sun. Hi Anna, hi Dawn. Look at them from afar. Yeah, it's tricky. I don't try and do anything extravagant with flowers or gardening. I'm not in that stage of my life. My grandparents were very much gardeners. And my parents kind of started getting into it a little bit, but I like having the plants that kind of purify the air. I prefer those because they're hardy plants. I know if I neglect them, they're not gonna completely die, and when I come back to them, they will resurrect themselves and it will all work out. so I really like doing that. Okay, let me put this aside for a bit. We can always come back to it, and I'll go and get my my ink is here on my page, and I'm just going to get a page, and I'm going to show you how you can use some string to draw different objects. And I'll show you how I did the orchid, but I'll also grab some different objects I've got on the desk and show you how you can just play around with that. It's quite a fun exercise. Okay, so what we want is some just paper, and I'm going to zoom you out just a wee bit. Okay. And we've got a cup. I've got this Chinese ink I bought when one of my kids was interested in learning Chinese writing. I bought all this stuff and then we didn't actually get round to it. And then we need string. We need string and scissors to cut the string. And I have that we can try draw. It's a gold sharpener. Okay, so you can do any sort of thing. You can take a stick and put some chalk or a pencil on a stick and put your paper up on a wall, and then you can take an object and just try and draw it from observation. You can attach things to rulers, which is what I've done. I've even tried drawing with my toes. Okay, so you don't need it terribly long. You can have it shorter. But I like doing it like this because then it's really floppy and I don't have much control. If you have different inks, you can use different inks. I just only really have this one. I've never really gotten into the whole inking thing. I pour a little bit in. I don't need an awful lot. I can always add more. So this is what I'm going to try draw. And then I'll show you how I did the orchid. So I dip my string in. Now if you really feel brave, you could probably do something like this on a coloring page, but let's do something different. Okay, so I'm going to hold it relatively far back, and I'm going to try and draw the sharpener. And it's not going to look realistic at all. See, I know, dip it back in, and I don't want to do this slow. Yeah, I want to do this kind of quick. The point is not to go for realism. The point is to loosen up, and it's really tricky because now I have to come along here. See, come down here. Okay, there we go. And maybe I can go around here a bit more. Oh, okay, fine. So we're getting a spiral. I'm trying to make lines. It's supposed to not be controlled. We want to free up. Okay, so we're going to try another one. So I'm going to go straight across. I know it curves up like this and around. Okay, not quite, but okay. And I'm going to come under here, and I don't mind if I go over. Okay, I've got quite a lot, so let's see. I want to make a little circle. There we go, there we go. Made a little circle. Oh look, see, now I'm noticing there's a half arc and a circle on the inside. So now I'm going to try and add that in. Okay, there we go. And okay, we need a bit more ink. Maybe I can just drop a blob of ink. Nope. Ah, it's going all over. Okay, now we got dots. All right, fine. I add an arc. Can I make this a bit thicker? Yeah, I can. Kind of. Okay, there we go. And got another line along here, and it kind of is gonna go there. Okay, see, I've progressed a little bit. Again, this is not about making it realistic. I'm gonna do it fast and quick. I'm gonna go again. Okay. And then I'm going to go around here. Oh, there we go. I need something around in there. Okay, there we go. And okay, see, I'm getting it. I'm getting it a bit better now. Like that. And then I've already got like a line coming here. So there we go. We can even try and write the letters on. Nope. Yeah, look, we can write the letter, sort of. Honestly, it's meant to be fun. Okay, now we can try and, nope, not working. All right, so I'm trying to add more details now, and it's still messy, but I've got a little bit more going on here, and I can do these things, and I'm trying to add the marks that I see. Okay, so I might do another one, and the more I do, the more my brain is going to kind of go, oh, okay, we're drawing a sharpener. But now I've noticed that the circle is actually in here, so I can do that, and I can do this, and I can come like here, all right, and yeah, it's hard to control because it's a floppy string. And dunk it back in the water. Oh dear. I cannot get this. Oh dear. I see I'm making it too long. It's really frustrating. Okay, hang on. Do a little circle thingy there. See, I'm trying to add a bit of depth, and I've got an arc thingy there. See, I'm still trying to follow this. I've got a line here, and this line still needs to come like that. Okay, and I can put an arrow here, or triangle. Oh, can I? Don't know if it's gonna let me. Okay, no. It's very frustrating. There we go. Hang on, hang on. No. I am determined to get a triangle. No, I'm making a mess. Okay, so then you move on. Let's see, can we do it this way? So here, oh look, I get a different line. Okay, depending on how I move the string, I can get different effects. So if I use more of my elbow now, I can kind of get something going. Okay, well, make a blob. There we go. All right, so I want a bit more. Now I'm gonna paint over this because it doesn't matter. It's just practice. I don't care how this turns out. And I want an arrow thingy here, a triangle thingy here. Nope. I cannot draw a triangle. Okay. All right, no, can it go here? All right, see, it's messy. It's not working. Let's try right. Can I write sideways? We can draw a T. Oh, too long. Okay, and a G. Oh, kinda, and an A. But nope. There we go. Hang on. Here we go. Getting an A. Okay, and L. Okay, I almost got it. Okay, so that is how you can use string. And if you look at it, you have the impression of a Toggle sharpener without all the details. The same thing I can do with a, if I just do this so I don't end up switching. So if I turn it over, now I've done 10 versions with different things of an orchid, and I've actually, my brain has memorized to some extent how to draw an orchid in this style, which is actually really, really fun and really cool. And it's not going to look realistic, but it is going to give a nice impression. And then I wanted something along here. Alright, it's probably not going to be exactly like, I've got no orchid in front of me, so this is really just from my memory that I'm going to make this. Oh dear, it's a bit messy. And then I want to bring it up here like that. Okay, and then what I can do is try and add some detailing. You can go other ways. And I can even smear some of that paint around. Bye Dawn, thanks for hanging out. And some orchids have like these spots, so you can add some spots. And there you go. That's a quick impression of an orchid, and just with a piece of string and some ink. So nothing fancy, but a really great way of just relaxing and warming up if you want. And then you can move on to something else, or if you want to learn the general shape of something very quickly, not thinking about it too much really helps a lot with this. So there you go. Just some fun little things I've been playing around with that I have found helpful. Alright, so let's see if I can come up with something for this coloring. Now obviously in a picture like this it's quite tricky. You can't use that technique, but it is great fun. I mean, you could take a next time you buy a lolly for family or kids or anything, buy yourself one, even if you give it to somebody later, and you can just quickly draw it. Because all it really is a circle, a little bit of a triangle, and a rectangle. If you know how to do circles, triangles, squares, basic shapes, you know a lot more than you realize. Okay, I'm going to do white daisies, so I'm going to need a bit of color. So I'm going to bring in a muted turquoise. I've actually really enjoyed practicing getting my brain to kind of get out of the way and not overthink. Especially if it's something like a good laugh. I find playing around like that really helps. Just laugh at myself and whatever it is I'm doing instead of taking things so seriously. I think we need a bit of pink inside this flower. I don't think every petal necessarily needs pink. We can just put some a bit randomly. So there's this incredible artist. She's into performance art. So she does a lot of visual stuff, performance, installations, sculpture. And one of the things that she loves to do and often does is she does drawings very quick. And her focus is not on realism, but more on the impression and the character of what it is she's drawing. But she puts together her artwork in a very layered way. Her name is Joan Jonas, and she uses video, dance, music, poetry, drawings, performance art, all sorts together in her pieces. So if you don't know her and you're interested, she's a really great one to look up. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in a bit closer to the flowers, just so you have a better view. And then what I need to do is actually get a white pen, and I can go over all these black lines and make it very white. But by having dark shadows, when I put white paint or acrylic marker, it's going to help make my white stand out. So it will look really nice. We can put a touch of yellow in these wings because we can make them transparent. Ah, thank you. It's a lovely page. I forget how detailed Klara Markova's work actually is until I get back into coloring it. But I do enjoy her books. They are just such lovely books to color. Right, I think I'm going to give her brown hair, so let's get on that. So I'm going to put a base of goldenrod down because I'm going to use the goldenrod more as a highlight. So she'll have like honey colored hair, but more dark brown to honey than, you know, blonde honey. So I think we need a contrast here. Right. I always try to tell myself to color in the direction of the hair. So I took the kids for a walk on Thursday last week, and it was actually 2 of the kids. And I thought, oh, I know we could probably stay at home and do other stuff with our time, but I really wanted to walk. And we were driving back home after I got us slightly lost. Fortunately, my 13-year-old, he's pretty impressive with navigation, so he managed to guide us back onto where we needed to go. And we're driving home and I hit a pothole and I get a flat tire. So I could feel that there was something wrong with the car, because it just was making weird sounds and it felt a bit weird. It wasn't, you know, oh my gosh, something's wrong, we're in danger kind of thing. It was more like, something's wrong, I need to pull over and I need to have a look. So I fortunately had found a safe place to pull over, had a look, phoned my husband, like, I need you to come and rescue me because the spare tire that I took out the car to help a friend move is still at home. We didn't put it back in the car. And the car that I was driving never came with a spare tire when we bought it. And our spare tire is actually from a car we previously owned that miraculously happens to fit my car and my husband's car. So we have 1 tire for the 2 of us. I tend to hit the potholes the most. So I joke with my husband that if there's anything wrong with the cars, it's most likely because of me, which is fair enough. I can be a bit known for hitting curbs and bumping things. Anyway, so he waited for a bit, a good while. I said to him, look, don't worry, I need you, the tire's actually not pumping. The boys found a different section on the tire that actually they said was letting out the air. So I mean, it was great practice for my 2 younger boys to kind of help mommy understand what causes a flat tire and all of that. Hubby came, we changed the tire, and then we got home. So we're gonna have that sorted out in the next couple of days. So for now I'm just kind of being quite conservative, making sure we don't drive too far, and we'll get the whole thing fixed and sorted out very, very soon. But it was quite fun to just sort of, I mean, having something flat like that is not a fun experience per se, but I knew we were safe. I knew that it was fixable. All we had to do was just wait. And while we waited, I had my notebook, my sketchbook, so I ended up doing a drawing. I can actually show you this drawing, because not all of my drawings yet, I've decided which ones to like put in a video and all of that. So I can show you this one. Okay, so never mind this picture. But this is the drawing I did, and this is graphite and charcoal, and it was a fence I saw, and the leaves, and then some bushes. So I really had a great time, just passing time actually doing a nice little sketch. So it's always nice to have a sketchbook on hand or a coloring book on hand, and if you end up having something like a flat tire, you've got something to do and pass your time, and all's well that ends well. And then for dinner I made pork chops, rice and gravy with some veggies because I couldn't be bothered to do anything overly fuss. Oh, actually I like her hair. I think this is cool. So my color combo is really a little bit of black, sepia, goldenrod, and chocolate. You could make any color hair you want actually, and it would probably work out really well. Actually I want to use a cream to blend, not a white, because I don't actually want that milky look. I want a slightly more blended look, but I still want, I don't want it to look milky. There we go. Alright, we could probably do a little bit of skin color. So let's take a light umber. I don't like putting dark too much underneath their noses because I'm always worried I'm going to give them a mustache. And little beautiful illustrations like this don't need mustaches. So you don't want to do that. And what we can do is actually give them a bit of pinky cheeks up here. Oh gosh, I can understand car problems alone would not be fun. I mean, I think I did think to myself, you know, if I didn't have hubby, you know, what would I do? And it's like, okay, I would have to call roadside assist or something like that because I would need to be able to kind of get a spare. And obviously I would need to make sure I did my due diligence and actually kept a spare in the car. It was a couple of years ago, I was with hubby, and I actually went to him and I said to him, look, I actually never learned how to change a car tire. Please can you show me, because as much as I love you rescuing me, and I'm grateful that my husband will happily come to my aid, I do want to be able to take care of things like that if I need to on my own. So he was very great. He showed me how, he let me, and then I think it was not too long after that where I actually ended up needing to change a tire. But I was in just a parking area at like one of the towns. So I knew I was safe, and I did have some lovely gentlemen come and offer to help me, but I said to him, no, I'm fine, I can do this, because I wanted the practice. But I have found when there are a lot of good people in the world, you know, it's like if I really was stuck and I was on my own, I think I would get people who would probably offer to help me. I would probably be a nervous wreck about it though. But yeah, I think roadside assistance is good if you have it. Alright, we want a bit of light umber back here. Okay, so I'm going to need to go over this with a bit of pink. Okay, then I'm going to get some, I think I'll do some peach. Maybe we should make the other fairy dark-skinned. I don't always do dark skin, and I actually think it could be nice to do a dark-skinned fairy. Oh wow, you haven't got full weather yet. It's actually been a really warm autumn. Even here, it's not overly cold. I mean, it's fresh, but it's not that icy, wintry cold. I mean, for November, it's surprisingly warm. Alright, I want my light peach, and I might have to use a bit of cream. Alright, I'm going to give her dark brown hair and dark skin. So I'm going to need a little bit of purple. Alright, I'll just lift it up a wee bit for you. I always get nervous when I color dark skin because I'm worried that it's not going to turn out okay. And it's mainly because I just haven't had enough practice with it. But the only way to learn is to do, so let's have a go, and if it really gets bad, I'll just figure something else out. really hope this is going to go right. Okay, so we're almost there. Maybe we can give her some black, like mahogany red or raspberry lips. So she also has like reddish lips, but it matches her skin. Okay, so if anyone is dark-skinned and I'm doing a terrible job, I sincerely apologize. One thing I have learned, if I color skin other than my own skin color, I find it a lot harder, and I don't know if it's because I'm just used to my colored skin or what, but I do know practice is what improves. No, I don't mind you asking. I used PC132 for some of the shadow areas. I've used light umber as a light, a sepia, a black, and now I'm using a chocolate. and I'm kind of just playing around with it. Oh, and some goldenrod here on the cheeks for like an undertone. I find dark skin very fascinating because some people with dark skin actually have a lot more yellow undertones, and then if you go Ethiopian or Sudanese, you have almost like an ebony black skin. So I find dark skin is not the easiest because of the variety of tones that they have. Hey Jody, how are you? Let's try a raspberry. Oh wow, Jody, what book did you complete? That's awesome, congratulations. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so now I'm going to do her hair, and I'm not sure what color to do it. I know we can do like maybe bluey black. So I'm going to use Caribbean blue. And then indigo blue. Again, I don't want to give her yellow hair because there's a lot of yellow on the page, and any more yellow I think could actually detract. So I'm sticking to the colors I've got on the page already and just trying to vary it accordingly. By giving her bluey black hair, it will also hopefully contrast with her skin, because I worry that I'm going to lose her hair into her skin tone. So if she has the bulk of her hair black with streaks of blue, I think that will look really nice. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the page. It's nice to come back to a Klara Markova. I do find these pages though are quite slow going. You have to kind of do one and then take a break, come back, do another one. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like her with blue hair. Okay, there we go. So we have two beautiful little fairies, and their hair is done, their skin tone is done. We can give her blue eyes. And we can give her a bit of blue too. Pretty blondie hair, blue-eyed kind of girl. Right, there we go. I'm gonna zoom out so you can have a look around. Oh wow, okay, so Klara Markova is coming out with a new book in 2026. I vaguely recall that. It's a bit fuzzy though. She does make beautiful books though, and they are worth the money. So if you do like her work and you're wondering if you should invest in a Klara Markova book, I think you should. If you can afford it and you don't mind spending the money, it's worth money spent because the paper is so good and the artwork is just beautiful. And they are a limited supply. So I think they only print out a certain amount, and then once those have been sold, they don't print more. So it's kind of like a first come first serve basis. You can find some of her books on the second-hand market, but it is much slower and harder to come by. So if you're up for it, go for it. All right, I'm going to zoom out so you can have a look, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Right, there we go. So there we've made some progress, and I showed you a bit of different fun little things you can do if you want to with just warming up or helping you relax your hand if you've been coloring or feel a bit tight. You know, just some string and some ink or watercolor or paint, and just pick something simple, try have a go at a quick play with it, and it will just relax you for the next for that evening. Hope you've had fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am cutting it short tonight because I do have quite a few things I need to take care of still. Really appreciate all of you. Hope you have a lovely week. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next week. Until then, everyone, take care. Bye.